selectable course naturally. This is Professor Jung Hyun-baek, and she once said that history is already past time, but what really matter is what time we should remember and how we should remember. Now let me explain why I'm insisting that modern and contemporary history should be mandatory curriculum in high school, not the entire Korean history. As she said, the history is already past time, but how we can remember this is very important. Let me give you an example. In the dictator era, the students fought for democracy. They fought so hard that in the Gwangju democratic movement, about 20 million people has died. But in the dictator era, the government tell them, you should remember how we grow our economic system and how our country became rich. The way we remember about our history is the way we build our identity. And since our history is long and I'm sorry, I kind of lost words and okay, practical. What we learn in high school is not for an exam, right? Not for an exam. We learn subjects so that it could practically help our status or identity or something we can use in our actual life, daily life. So, not the entire Korean history and learning contemporary and modern history means that we are let our students know how this society based on the democracy and the law stands. How we stand and our grandparents and how our parents fought for the democracy and our right to choose and right to live free, and how we can be here at this college, at this university, how can we study, who we are. We can learn from that subject. So, to reducing the growing ignorance of Korean people's history, growing ignorance of our own history, I insist that the contemporary and modern history of Korea should be mandatory curriculum in high school. That was all for my presentation, and sorry for my stuttering. And thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Questions?
Do you have any questions?
If you ask, I won't ask. She needs to.
Okay.
In your opinion, why should we study Korean history? 왜 발표하자님께서는 왜 우리가
we should study our own history? I believe that our history is, let me say this, let me explain like this. When we grow up, I'm 22 years old, and as I grow up, I've been through many turning points of my life, not many, but some, and I've been through the minor tragedy, and all the small events and the small occasions and incidents made me grow up and made me who I am. Like this, in this country, the Korean history means how our society was grown and built, and what our society is stated, where our society is stated. We can learn that from our history, and it means we can study our identity from it also. Without a history, I believe that a country can exist long. Without a history, that country is not have enough identity or communityism. So I think that's why we should learn our history. It's about who we are. Is that?
In the back.
Back? Oh, yes.
This is not a question, this is just my comment. I'm really impressed about your answers right before, especially the fact that you compared your personal experience and the nation's growth. So I'm very impressed about your answer.
Oh, thank you very much. Any more questions? Yes.
Why do you think that concentrated program or course is not good? Because actually I'm currently majoring in special education, also English education. I think certain subjects such as music, arts are really helpful within the concentrated course.
Music and arts.
Arts and such as just language skill, like Chinese character or Japanese Chinese.
The concentrated course is covering the subject. The subject that you learn you need to learn in 3 years in 1 year, right?
It's one period.
Yeah, 1 period. I'm not accepting the entire concentrated course. Actually, I agree that music or music or arts can be. It's sad to say, but in the high school, music or arts are not that highly regarded, and so let me explain like this. Like I said, I am not opposing it entirely, but subjects like Korean histories or morality and we see these kind of subjects have a very long, very kind of large quantity, right? It's kind of it's hard to explain in English. Okay, government decided to make this to give students more time to study so-called main subjects such as math and mother tongue and literatures. It is good to have, we can study more about those subjects considering the college entrance exams or preparing for it and studying. Those kind of subjects need lots of time to study. But I am saying that the negative effects of that that kind of course that make, like I said, Korean history has lots of quantity and over 800 pages quantity. Studying that quantity in just one period would be not efficient, I think. It's on my phone, actually. Thank you. Any more questions? Comments or questions?
How do we get teachers to change their minds about this? You said that, when students are learning history, they have to study a lot of history, right?
Yes.
But I imagine if teachers were able to emphasize the important things and de-emphasize less important things, it would help. But how do we get teachers to upgrade their skill or to focus more carefully on?
Actually, I thought about that preparing this presentation, but I thought that I didn't explain it because it's really far from the topic, but anyway, in our system, the college entrance exam is, you see, in USA or Japan, the high school curriculum decides the college entrance exam. But on the contrary, in Korea, the college entrance exam set the high school curriculum. I think that's the main problem that caused the subjects less interesting, and that is hard to teachers to emphasize the important things, as they have to teach all of the subject. But I hope that our society is discussed about it more and more, and these days we are making some amendments like give college the more power so they can choose students not just from the college entrance exam or interviewing, or give them some opportunities to write an essays or their experience. And also, I think that kind of basically the society system should be changed, but also the teachers should think what is more important for their students, like not to go to the social high status, what they can teach them and what they want to teach them. They have to think about it first. It's kind of general idea, but I think it's the basic. Is that enough answer?
Yep, that answers my question.
Any questions? Thank you for patience.